let's talk about Francis.
He loves Francis.
I love him. I love him.
I do too.
I'm a huge Francis fan, man. This guy is a fucking monster. He, when you stand next to him, I don't know if we've ever had a heavyweight champion as big and as mean looking as this fucking guy is. And when he hits you, man, you know, he's what I saw the other night in the fight with Arlovsky. Arlovsky was a little faster than him, you know, moving around on the outside. But then once he caught up to him and hit him, man, all that guy's got to do is graze you.
And not to mention, in his fight before that, he finished that with that Kimura. And I'll tell you, man, he looked like he was going to rip that arm off. I mean, he's a strong dude. Yeah, I mean,
do you guys know his story?
No,
I do not.
He was homeless in France, and he walked into a gym and said, "I would like to learn how to box." And the guy started working with him and thought that he was a physical freak, right?
Yeah.
And basically said, "What do you think about mixed martial arts? We think you should train in that." So they started doing some stuff on the ground, and that was the end of it, man. The guy became a mixed martial artist.
He was a homeless guy. Was he drinking at the time, or what? Do you know what the backstory to that was?
He had moved from Africa to France. He moved from Africa to France, and apparently he was homeless, and you know, trying to make his way and find a job or whatever. You know, when you get to a new town, and walked into a gym and wanted to learn how to box.
You imagine him asking for change at 3 o'clock in the morning, how fast you'd happily hand it over?
Jimmy's writing him checks. Just, hey. How old is he, Chris, the producer?
He's 30 years old.
So he's still pretty young, man.
Yeah.
The thing with him, like you said, Arlovsky's a little bit faster. And again, against a guy like a Travis Brown or a Cain Velasquez, or, you know, there's guys in there who you know, he's got to connect with you to knock you out. And there's guys in there that might be able to get in and out without getting touched. But
I think more of a Stipe Miocic. Miocic is a very well-rounded athlete. He's got good speed. You know, you saw that in the Hunt fight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How he was in and out. And he's got a chin, and he hits hard too. So Stipe's dangerous for anybody.
So who's a possible next fight for Ngannou? I know you guys probably haven't looked that far yet, but who do you see? I mean, with Cain is out, it's still so who do you see him fighting?
He wants to fight Cain Velasquez next.
Well, when does Cain due back? Did he just have surgery?
Yeah, Cain will be back in April. For a while.
He probably doesn't need much time in between fights because he tends to get them over quickly. So, I mean, you know, what does he got to do? Like, he's probably going to nap for a day and he's ready to fight again.
That's the thing. He gets them over quickly. There's no weight cutting. You know, heavyweights are different, totally different. That's why I think if you look in the UFC, if you look at the history of the UFC, the heavyweights stick around the longest, you know? It's a very thin division. They don't cut weight. They don't. Some have to cut weight. I mean, some of them are so big, but it's not like these smaller guys do. You know, it's a lot easier to be a heavyweight in the UFC than any other weight division, I think.
But wasn't he? I'm by memory here. Wasn't he like 265 and Arlovsky? I want to say it was 242 or something like that. Wasn't there a giant difference between them?
Yeah, it's funny because if you look at the weight of Arlovsky has always been on the smaller side of the heavyweights, but he's a massive dude. The guy is so big, yet his weight is around 240, sometimes 235. But he's such a big guy. Because Arlovsky, when you stand next to Arlovsky too, he's a monster.
He is, but he had a disadvantage reach-wise too. I don't remember what Arlovsky's in, but I want to say that doesn't Francis have like is it 83-inch reach or something like that? It's some incredibly long reach.
Yeah, I'm not sure. He's such a big dude. I mean, his hands are massive. His hands are massive. He is a big dude, big, scary-looking guy. I love him, man. He's a fun heavyweight. He's going to bring some excitement to the heavyweight division.
Yeah, I do too, and I've been talking about him for a while. I mean, for as long as he's been. I'm just so happy that everybody's noticing Francis. People are hitting me on Twitter.